Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really pretty warm bronzy eye with a hot pink lip. I just was in the mood to do something more summery, probably because it is so cold here in Iowa, which is where we live right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that it is warm today and go for this pretty spring and summer look. So if you want to see how to recreate it, then let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So the first thing I'm doing is taking my Perfector sponge, and I sprayed it with some Stay Spray, and I am just going to pat that all over my lids, and that way when we go in with the highlight shade, it'll have something to really stick to and just an extra measure so that our eyeshadow doesn't crease. And then priming my eyes, I'm using the smaller side of the Detail Hack and applying it pretty heavily all over my lids. And I just want to go over it with the Perfector one more time. Then just packing on some of Vanilla Dust to really set that all in place. So I'm going in with the eyeshadow everything brush. I'm going to be using the blending side. I'll be taking some of Pup. This is a really nice transition shade. And like I said, we're going to use this as a transition shade. So I first start off by applying it right into our crease and then blending it upwards. And as you can tell, I use a combination of little circular motions here and windshield wiper motions. So just back and forth. And that just really helps to blend it all on. And I like to work it all the way up towards that brow, leaving just kind of like a pencil or, you know, a brush width of a gap. So I'm going to go in, I believe this is called Zion, and apply it right into that crease using windshield wiper motions at first, just to make sure that we are getting it right where we want it. And this is such a nice, really pretty warm tone shadow. That's just a couple shades darker than my skin, and then I will slightly blend that upwards, like right onto that brow bone. And next we're going to go into Coco, and I am applying this color directly into the crease, just like the previous one, making sure that we can really add that depth. You can see how much depth that adds. But when I open my eye, I want it to still peak above. So you see how with my eye open, we're gonna blend it up a little bit. So that way, of course, when my eye is open, we just wanna be able to see some of that smokiness. And here I am going in with another layer of Coco. When I'm using darker shades like this, I always like to layer it up rather than going in with a really heavy amount at once. This just makes it a lot easier with the blending. Now for the fun part, we are going to take this brush. I'm going to take the Multitasker brush, which is this one here. It has a really small end, and then this nice flat side, which is perfect for packing on shadow. I'm going to take this color here called Bright Eyes. It is so pretty and bronzy. Once I have it packed on the brush, I'm going to spray it with some Stay Spray. And then look at how gorgeous that is. We're just gonna pack this baby all over the lid. And as you can tell, spraying your brush really makes the shadow really intense and gives you that foil-like appearance, which I love. If I'm going to be using a shimmer shadow, I want all of the shimmer and sparkle that I can get. It's definitely a must to spray your brush. You can also use water, but I feel like the Stay Spray makes it the most intense. The Stay Spray is kind of a must-have. So many ways to use it. So I have that first layer on, and then I'm going to go over it just one more time to really layer it up, make it as intense as I can possibly get it, because that's just the way I like it. But if you're not the biggest fan of intense shimmer, just do one layer and stop with that. I went ahead and put tape on because that's how I prefer to do my liner when I'm in a hurry. I'm going to try and do this the best that I can, but if you guys want a more detailed video on this, just let me know. Sometimes watching it is the easiest, but I can always do a video explaining it. And just so you know, this NYX Black Liner, it's a liquid, obviously, and it is waterproof and it's matte and it is amazing. Now just lining my waterline with a black pencil. For some reason I just had a vision of this with a really smoky lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. If you have really small eyes, you can skip lining the waterline for sure. It will make your eyes appear a little bit smaller. Taking the pencil brush, I am going to go in with some of Coco first. Applying that right below, I want to go in with Salem, which is the matte black after this. But I want to make sure I have this brown so it has something to blend into and it's not just going to be like a harsh black line. Okay, so here we have Salem, which is that matte black. Also use the other side of the Multitasker brush, which you can see how small and pointy that is. Salem, and really get it nice and close to the lash line. Lashes, I am going to be taking these, which they are actually not that brand. They are Demi Wispy lashes by Salon Perfect, and then I took, or by Kiss Lashes, and then I took some individuals and beefed them up so they're really pretty and full. And my new favorite lash glue, my favorite has always been House of Lashes, but I love the dark one. It is so much easier. You don't have to cover up the clear glue with any liner. So that is what I'm using, and I love the little brush applicator. Everything about this glue is awesome. And I already put mascara on my lashes, and so on my natural ones, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and set these on. So for today, we are going to be using Ruby Blush, which is this one here. I already have my contour and everything on and all that jazz, but I'm going to show you how I do the blush. I'm going to use the 30-second hack and the domed side of the brush. And it does look fairly intense, but it blends out so easily that I'm going to go a little bit overboard maybe. So you smile and you see those apples of your cheeks. Look at that pigment. And just tap it on. And I'm going to use my sponge to blend it out, my Perfector. So I have my Perfector damp. And I'm just going to go ahead and bounce over it. And you can see how it makes it less intense, and obviously the more that you bounce your Perfector over it, the lighter it is going to be. To finish off that inner corner, I'm going to go in with some of Pearl and just using my finger and to just tap that right there for a base. I am going to take the flat side of this brush again in some of Sabrina. And I sprayed my brush with some of the Stay Spray, and then I am tapping that right on. And that way we really get that intense inner corner, because there's just something about that that I love. And then you can take whatever is left and run it on right below that brow. Okay, so one more thing before we go in and do the ruby on the lips. I also wanted to show you a little way to do a highlight, because since this is a little bit more of a summer look, it's fun to do like a sparkly illuminator. So we're going to go in with Pearl Illuminator. And using the small side of the detail hack, I am going to put this right on my cheekbones there. Make it glow. And I am just tapping it so that way it's blending as it's being applied. Down the bridge of my nose, between my brow, Cupid's bow, and chin. If you want to make it a little bit more fun, we can go in with Sabrina, which is this color here. I'm going to use this kind of like a fan brush, so I'm going to go right on the edge here and just dust it right there. But that is an awesome way to really make it intense. Now going to lip color. We are going to be using that really pretty bright pink ruby. The flat side of the multitasking brush. And so you can use this brush if you're one that likes a brush for applying lip colors. Or you could just use your finger. Alright, so as you can see, you can layer it up as much as you want to make it as intense as you like. And I am going to go off camera and perfect this. Otherwise, you guys could be watching me forever.